Eric Green, aka the Digital Gangster with the MLM Superheroes, and I'm here with my great friend, business partner, Miss Karla Harris, and we are. It's interesting because Karla and I were having a conversation the other day, and we work very closely together, and we started talking about the power of connecting. Something that a lot of people out here who are online marketers or who are involved in the direct sales or network marketing industry, it's something that I think a lot of people miss. A lot of people are so focused on trying to, they're in their own little bubble, Karla, you know what I mean? So they're trying to get their own business off the ground. They're trying to figure out how all this stuff works. Meanwhile, there are all these resources, there are all these connections all around them that they could be taking advantage of to help them accelerate the growth of their business, and they don't utilize that. So what we said is, we said, look, how about over the next 60 days, what we'll do is each week, Karla and I are going to get together, and we'd love for you guys to join in. We're not pitching anything here. Certainly we're involved in multiple businesses. If you're looking for a way to make money online, we can help you with that. But our goal is to just basically do these weekly updates and tasks that help both Karla and I with our business, and we'd love for you guys to join in, and hopefully what we're talking about and the things that we're going to be doing on a weekly basis can help you grow your business no matter what you're in. So Karla, with that said, before I sort of get into the tasks this week and we talk about what our goal is here for the upcoming week, tell us a little bit about, you've just recently, obviously you've been to some events with one of our primary programs, Empower Network, but you just recently sort of stepped out, got out of the comfort zone a little bit, and went to an event in Long Beach by yourself, a fantastic marketing event. But you were able to sort of leverage some of these connecting strategies. Tell us a little bit about the event. Tell us about, because there was a transition from the first night to the second day. There was mentally a switch that you turned, and it really made the event very, very special and beneficial for you. But tell us a little bit about the Long Beach event, how it happened, and what transpired.
Actually, it was an awesome event. I had a great time, learned a lot of information, picked up on some tips. There was some training done, and interesting. We've all been this journey we've been on. The first thing they started talking about was the mindset and the personal development and how we need to develop into the people that we would like to become as far as running an online business, or even if your business is offline. But prior to going, that Friday night, I had set an intent that I was going to go out there. I was going to, meet new people, set up some networks, and just get out there and put myself out there, as opposed to just limiting myself to the people within my primary business. And on the way there, my head started talking to me like it does to all of us, that self-talk. And once I got to the event, the Friday night was actually a meet and greet type of night. So you actually got to go in and meet with the people, the speakers that were going to be there. From listening to my head on the way out there, things like, you don't know anybody here. What are you going to say? God, you're all alone. You've never done this before. All the things that our heads can tell us, when we're trying to do
Absolutely.
something different. Well, the first night when I got there, I was pretty reserved, there were a couple of people that approached me there, I talked to them. We exchanged information. We just kind of talked about the event and what we were going to be, seeing over the next couple of days. And I was there probably about a couple of hours, and then I came home. And one of our other business partners, Darren Little, had that particular night made this video talking about stepping into the no fear zone. And it was all about the art of connections and building relationships. And I listened to it before I went to bed that night. And the next morning when I got up before going to the event, I listened to it. And somewhere in there, it was like, this is what you intended to do. This is what you set out to do. You need to go out there and do this. Do not be afraid of people not connecting with you. That's what this is all about, is networking. And basically, by the time I got to the event, I'd had a shift in my mindset, and I went in there with the intent to achieve the goals that I had set out to do, was to get a couple of interviews for the daily cat chat that I host with Calais Beeman. It's a daily mindset call, and just to build some new relationships. And really, when I walked in the room, I just went in there and did what I needed to do. So I probably ended up with about 8 to 10 emails from people that were in other parts of the industry. I also talked to a couple of people that are actually doing very well, and I set up an interview for my cat chat, and I also set up another Google Hangout. And I can honestly tell you, had I not taken that step and just said, I'm going to do this, none of this would have been possible. And so throughout the rest of the weekend, other than learning, I just felt real comfortable with talking with people and connecting with people. And after I got back from the event, I contacted all of those people, and there's only 2 of them that have not responded to me. So it's the art of connection is definitely it's vital to the lifeline of your business. That is one of the things that I learned from this event, and I look forward to going to many more. So
Yeah, it's if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I really love that phrase, and I use it in my life all the time when I'm in a situation where I'm going, maybe I'm a little bit uncomfortable, maybe it's something new, and I make a conscious decision to change the way that I'm looking at that, and how can this benefit me? What amazing things can transpire? So when you're talking about connecting, this isn't about recruiting. This isn't about pitching. This is about genuinely connecting with people on a personal level, which requires, the best way to connect with people is to offer value to people. You may not personally be able to give that value that they may need at that particular time, but I can promise you, you can direct them to a resource, you can direct them to another individual that can give them the value that they need at that particular time in their journey. And that's the power of connecting, because the same thing can happen to you. That's why it's so important to go to events. That's why it's so important to be connected with people who are at other levels that you aspire to be, because these people can direct you in a way, whether it be to another individual, whether it be to a book, whether it be to some sort of resource, anything that can help push and elevate you in your business. But most of us are scared to do that. But what I have always found is people genuinely want to build relationships. People genuinely want to connect. That's part of human nature. And a lot of times our fears we sort of laugh at later, because we look at a situation and go, wow, I'm going to walk up and talk to this person. I don't know this individual. And then after you do it, it's such an amazing experience, and you had such a good time, you say to yourself, what the heck was I so scared about? This is ridiculous, So the assignment for this week, and something that I know will be hugely beneficial for both of us, and anybody out there watching that wants to participate, right now I'm learning a lot of this from a gentleman that I met as a master connector, and what I want us to do, Karla, over the next week, and when we get together, we'll talk about all this, but I want us to appraise our current networks. And what I mean by that is, let's select 20 people in our current network. Okay, these people, some can be involved in our industry, some can be outside of our industry, who are influencers. Just people that we, find 20 people in your network that feel like you'd like to improve your current existing relationship with, and take it to a little bit deeper level. So once you've identified those 20 people, the way that we're going to approach them, which could be over Facebook, email, whatever, is we're going to use this line. We're going to say, just wanted to touch base, Karla. I hope you've been doing well. Really excited to have as part of my network. Quick question. what is the most important project you're working on right now, and how can myself or my network help you, right? So we're going to identify those 20. We're going to send them that message, and then when that, and they may all come back, or 10, 15 come back, whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. Whoever comes back and says, here's what I'm working on, here's what's important to me right now, and here's where I think you can help me, they answer that question, then we're going to figure out a way through us and our existing networks to provide them value. And that's what that's the assignment for the next week. That's the assignment for any of you guys watching. Please contact, if you do watch this and you're getting involved, feel free to contact myself or Karla, and we'll be happy to assist you in any way during this process. But what I want to talk about next week, Karla, is I want to talk about the type of responses that you got.
Okay.
I want to talk about the ones you were able to initially help yourself, or through you or your network. And then if there's any that you're like, Eric, I've got this, I don't really know how we can help them through myself or my existing network, is there anything you or your existing network can do? And then we are going to so we'll calendar that, we'll talk about what happened, we'll talk about how we were able to assist them, and just sort of the results from that strategy, or that, I don't want to call it a strategy, just this particular task. It's very, very powerful, and it's something that, have you ever done that, Karla?
No, I would say probably this weekend was kind of like the beginning of it. So
Right.
I can see where it can be very empowering, because I know when I started getting the responses that I did get from, just telling people that it was good to connect with them. I, would like to stay connected, look forward to networking with them in the future. It just, God, I can't even think of the words. Well, like I said, it was empowering to know that, yeah, people want to build relationships. That's what this is all about, the networking. So I've got that first step in it. So I'm looking forward to delving more into it. Yeah.
Well, and they could come back, Karla, and say, hey, Karla, it could be anything. I've got, I know what's the actor's name that you work with? I always forget, but
Oh, Shamar Moore.
Shamar Moore, yeah, Shamar Moore from Criminal Minds. I finally get it right. But let's assume. Let me turn my phone off here. Let's assume that Shamar came back, and I know he's got a new clothing line, right? This is why right now I'm focused on getting my clothing line out. Well, you've already done this. You set up a Google Hangout and allowed him to expose through your network his clothing line. So that's the great thing, is we already have vehicles in place through the cat chat that you have through Google Hangouts, where you can help to expose or get information out based on the projects that they're doing. People can come back with a whole host of different things. The key is, where most people stop, where most people fail, is they'll ask that question, but then they never follow through. Because here's what happens, something magical happens when you follow through. Then you've taken your relationship with that individual to another level. Because they now go, wait a minute, it's this individual reached out to me. They weren't asking anything of me. They were asking how they can assist me, and there was no hidden agenda, and they just simply helped me. They simply followed through. Then that creates instant credibility. That creates an instant bond of trust when you do that. And so you can't look at it as, where am I going to gain now? You have to look at it as, I'm strengthening these relationships that I can call back upon in the future, for a number of different reasons. And these people there's going to be a bond built there, based on the way that I interacted and the follow through, that in most cases they're going to assist or want to help me or assist me. And so that becomes extremely powerful in the world we live in, because we're constantly looking for people who are looking to change their life, who are looking to create either additional income, full-time income, sort of be in charge of their own calendar, that sort of thing. So I can't tell you how many relationships or how many business partners I've been able to connect with and partner with who have come to me through other people that I've built these relationships with. So that becomes extremely important in your business. You have to look at the bigger picture. You have to look at, what's this relationship? This relationship could potentially help set me free a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. I mean, all of that stuff happens. If you ever hear anyone, they tell the story, well, I met so-and-so, so I did so-and-so, I connected. Through that connection, I met so-and-so. Through that connection, I met this guy. This guy gave me the information that completely turned my world around, and I went from XYZ in my life to, now living in a prosperous life and living my dreams. So everything comes through connections, but most people are so lost in their own little world that they're not tapping in. Because as we know, Karla, we talk a lot about energy,
Mm-hmm.
and there's something called energy transference. And if you're by yourself and you're not connected to that flow and all these other people's energy, you're trying to run the race on your own energy. And eventually you're going to get burnt out and exhausted. You've got to have all these sources to pull from. And when you have that, you can do some amazing things. So I'm excited about this week's project, our
Yeah.
task, I should say.
Yeah, so am I. And one thing I just wanted to add, when I was at that event, and this is for anyone out there, uh, when I did step out and build those relationships, I talked to people that were brand new to the industry, all the way up to people that were seven-figure earners, and it didn't matter. We're all the same. They were all very receptive.
Yep.
So don't be afraid to talk to someone that's at a level that you're aspiring to get to. They're equal, you know, beneficial to your network, And that was one of the things I thought in the beginning when I first started on this journey, that since I was so brand new, what could I offer to someone that, basically was financially successful? Well, you would be surprised what you have to offer to anyone out there when you're building your network. So just my takeaway from it, treat them all the same. We're all the same people. We all cry, bleed, succeed in the same way.
Well, just remember, this is networking, so we're a
Yeah.
network. So a lot of times we feel like we can only offer the value that we can personally offer, but I never feel that way. I know I can get someone to seven-figure money earners, to experts in personal development, to business owners, to business professionals. I mean, your network is your net worth, right? So you can literally you can help just about anybody that you come in contact with if you think that way. And if you think that way, you'll constantly get into a situation where you're constantly connecting with new people, constantly building your network and connecting, not thinking about. That's what marketing is for, guys. Marketing is for finding targeted leads or people interested in what you're doing. But networking and connecting is all about giving value and helping other people. It's not about trying to get new business partners. You have to put a line between the two. We can teach you to market. We can teach you to put content and things out on the internet in a way where people are putting in their information to learn more about your business opportunity. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about relationship building and connecting. That's a totally different animal. So if you go into this world with this mindset over here, you're not going to properly connect with people because you're going to always thinking, how am I going to pitch this person? How am I going to get them in my business? That's not the goal here, guys. Your only goal is to build solid relationships with people, figure out ways to help them, and then that network you can tap in at any time, which will help you over here, right? And even people over here in this world will, some of them will join you in business. It happens all the time, but it's not the focus. So over the next week, guys, I'm going to we'll reiterate this one more time. If you guys want to join in with Karla and I, okay, you need to identify 20 people in your network that you'd like to build a little bit closer relationship with. You're going to reach out to these people. You're going to use you're going to say, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you. Fantastic to have you a part of my network. Quick question. What is the most important project you're working on right now, and how can myself or my network help you? That's what you're going to say to those people. Then once they respond, or the ones that do respond, we're going to focus on what we have and our network has to figure out a way to assist that person in some way, in some way. So Karla, we're going to get back together maybe this time Thursday next week. That gives us a week, and
Sounds
what we'll do is we'll talk about some of our responses that we got. We'll
okay.
talk about, you know, how what sort of help we gave them, how that helped to develop your relationship and strengthen it a little bit, and then we'll talk about the ones that, you know, maybe we're both sort of boggled and saying, I don't really know where to send or do this, guy. Is there anything you can do, or that sort of thing, or even our viewers. If we come back a week from now and we start saying, hey, we've got this individual, we're not sure, if you're watching this and you can assist and you want to assist, and just connect with Karla and I, and we'll pass your information along. So I'm excited, Karla, for our first task,
Yeah.
and I'll let you, if you're cool with it, I'll let you sort of, if you want to write it up or do a little write-up of here's what we're doing this week, sort of an instructional deal along with this video, then we'll get this out to all of our networks, and we'll see who wants to come play.
Sounds like a winner. I'll get right on it. Okay.
Hey, great chatting as always, Karla. I look forward to working with you over the next 60 days on this on these weekly tasks. It'll be a lot of
Oh,
fun.
yeah. It's going to be amazing. So do I. All right. Well, we will see you all next week. All right. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.